that, let's say if, someone decides that he or she wants to create content, he or she has got the kind of content inspiration. But as you know, there are trends coming up. Like there is a trend for podcasts and everything, podcasting and everything. So should one go by the trends, or should one go by the interest? If someone is interested in blogging, so should he be doing that, or should he be ignoring that because uh, not a lot of people read it? So how to implement the content creation process is something I want your insights on.
Point. That's also something you people do struggle with initially, of like, do I do what everyone is doing and all of that.
Right.
That's definitely like a whole journey you will go on. Like even if you set out with the right intentions, you will have things pulling you different places.
Right.
But no, always I would say stay true to who you are, what your interests are, because like there will be many things trending at
Right.
every given point, but you can't keep chasing. Like today, let's say, like right now, I think digital marketing is really like taken off. Like you see,
Yes.
like people on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, everywhere,
Everywhere is right.
everyone is consuming and creating digital marketing content. But like you can't just follow that, right? Because like a few years ago it was lifestyle content. Lifestyle content was really big. So how
Yes.
many times are you going to pivot based on trends? So you
Right.
really have to if you are genuinely interested in something, you can make it big in that. There's nothing, I don't think there's any niche. Maybe I don't know, like I'm sure there's some like very dark places, but I don't think there's any niche that can't work out. There's
Right.
always an audience for people. So you can't be like, you can never feel like, okay, the topics that I want to talk about has no market. I don't think that's a thing at all. Everything has its own market. So there's just no point in trying to do something that's like not authentic to yourself. And also I feel like some people are like, oh, this thing is too saturated and all of that. Definitely there are certain platforms, like lifestyle is very saturated right now. There's definitely things like that, but that's where you have to be really creative. Like all of us definitely got in on the whole content creation thing, I would say a little bit late, right? Like we weren't like super early or something. There were so many YouTubers, and YouTube was now it's like a normalized thing in India. Like it wasn't even weird for me to tell my parents that I'm creating YouTube videos, but at some point it was.
It was.
So we're
Yes.
all pretty late to this. So we have to get creative. We have to be like, okay, so if I'm gonna like get into a crowded market, how will I set myself apart?
Right.
How can I really show my personality or do something different, make like different styles of videos, anything to set myself apart. That is going to be a challenge, but
Right.
definitely do what you think is right, but also try everything. I think
Yes.
that's very important. So like, let's say, like you want to do blogs, but blogging is too saturated. And if you're doing it over and over again and it's not working, try something else. Like there's no harm in that. Like I was, like I had a blog, and because I thought like, okay, blogging is good, but then I didn't really enjoy doing it. And then I tried out podcasting. I really enjoyed it. And I was like, okay, I'm really liking podcasting. I'm sure there's nothing more I can like more than this. But 6 months later, I tried out video, and I'm like, oh my god, video is the best. And I literally changed everything, and I'm like 100% video on every single platform. So
Right.
definitely, as you start like doing different things, you will like something, you will not like something. At some point you will do everything, because I feel like all when you become a big enough like creator or like personal brand, it is important for you to have some sort of a presence on different places.
Right.
But to get started, to really develop one skill, do what feels right for you. Definitely do not look at what other people are doing and try to do the same thing.
Yes.
You'll hate it, and then you'll feel like it's not for you, and then you'll quit. But that's just because you didn't try the thing that was for you.
Right.
Which is hard. It's harder said than done. There's definitely been times where I've been like, oh, they are doing this, I should do that. Like I used to do those stupid dancey wala reels at one point.
Yes.
I'm like, and then I'm so embarrassed by it, but I'm like, it's fine. It's a part of my past. It's fine. At
Right.
some points you will do things like that, but
Yes.
no, like if I'm not a person who will dance in front of a camera, so that's obviously not right for me. There are other ways. Now I have another way where I do reels. So there's always something for you. So like, don't ever do things that other people are doing that doesn't feel right.
Right. Right. That's obviously there, and these are some great insights in a way that a lot of people are doing that currently. They are seeing a lot of people creating content, and they feel like they can also do it, but then inherently they don't want to do it. They just want to prove that they can do it. So that remains for, let's say, a month or so, but then after that it just goes down. The whole motivation goes down. So then you
Absolutely.
realize that the whole thing has gone for waste, the whole efforts and everything, and then you get frustrated and then you start doubting yourself. So that one thing of not following your gut or not following your instinct of doing something, let's say not even content creation, let's say gently,
Yeah.
will actually lead to a lot of motivation, frustration and irritation in the long term, which will have a mental impact on you. So this is very important
Absolutely.
to
Like
all the viewers.
engineering,
Yes, yes.
right? Like the amount of like, oh my God. I mean, yeah,
A
this
lot
is
of people
that's
do
very
that.
good point.
Even I was planning to go into engineering, but then thank God that I realized that this is not my cup of tea.
Oh,
And
lucky
not
you.
a lot of people
I actually
realize
dropped
it.
out after 1 year. Yeah. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Right.
This is so weird. I'm like, bye. And I dropped out. Yeah, that's very
And a lot
true.
of people realize this after 4 years of engineering and after they start looking out for jobs. And they actually end up doing jobs in some other random fields. So, this one thing that self realization is a very important aspect in content creation, especially if you are putting in those kind of efforts. So, I obviously know that you are creating content on all these platforms. So, there might be a lot of difficulties that have come in your way or are in your way currently when it comes to content creation. And it's very important to highlight those difficulties so that people don't actually just see the positive side of it, don't actually see the screen side of it, that this person is actually doing good, and it might just take 1 or 2 hours to actually create a video, because a lot of people have this perception that क्या है बस आधे घंटे में I'll record, आधे घंटे में I'll post, आधे घंटे में engagement, 1.5 hours is all what it takes for content creation. So I'd love to have your views, your actual insights into this aspect, the difficulties aspect of content creation.
Yeah, I think definitely it's a very, I would say, like a lonely journey. And if you don't really love it, there's going to be a million things to take you off it.
Right.
Every day is like a roller coaster of emotions. But I feel like the biggest thing that has been the biggest difficulty for me that I very recently only figured out was the reason of like, why am I doing this? Like
Right.
obviously we all started because it's really fun and like you like creatively expressing yourself and all of that. You get to meet people, all of that is nice, but the
Right.
amount of time and money also that creating videos and like creating content takes, you
Right.
have to have a bigger reason why you're doing it.
Yes.
Like you have to be working towards something. There should be some end goal.
Right.
Otherwise you get really because you don't get the kind of traction you want and you get really demotivated. And I didn't
Right.
have a why for a long time. I was doing it for a long time just for the sake of doing it. I was like, I like making videos, I'll make videos. I like doing this, I'll do this and all of that.
Right.
But when things get really bad, when like literally no one is watching your videos and like your retention rate is like in the dustbin and you haven't gotten any new followers that week and all of that, those
Yeah.
really bad times, you need to have a bigger why than just those numbers and just building your audience. Maybe you're trying to create passive income.
Right.
Maybe you're trying to quit your job at some point, or like you I don't know, you're trying to build an audience so you can go get another job, or trying to get in front of the right kind of people, sell your products, sell your services, start a company. So many things, so many wonderful reasons are actually there to create content, but then you have
Right.
to figure out which one of it is yours. I was
Right.
just like, okay, maybe I'll just do this, maybe I'll do that, maybe I'll freelance, maybe I'll do this, all of that. But until I figured it out, that I would so the thing that happens is like another really difficult part of creating content is obviously the numbers. Like
Hmm.
I don't like, however like saint like you are, however confident and all that you are, the numbers will get to you. Like
Yes.
um, you know like there's so many different kind, everything is numbers, analytics, there's the subscribers and followers and shares and saves and retention
Right.
rates and there's conversion rates, and like there's so many
Everything
numbers
is
for
there.
you to yeah, it
And they
is
do
like
have a
they make it like
psychological
that.
impact. They do have a psychological impact. So people say that don't focus on numbers, but I don't completely agree with this, because when you're creating content, numbers will play a very important role.
Yeah, yeah, they tell you whether you're doing a good job or not. Like you
Yes.
can't just ignore the numbers, because I did that for a long time. I used to be like, oh no, I'm not growing on Instagram, it's not my problem, it's out of my control. Maybe my niche is just not a thing on Instagram. Like what is my audience doing, where are they? Like I literally like it's not me. But no, like it is you. Like you have to be like, okay, what is not happening, how can I change it? Like people are not engaging with my content, how can I change that? You have to look at the numbers, but it can get really, really bad. And the thing that people don't understand is numbers are great. It's always obviously great to have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. That will be amazing. But
Right.
if you know what you want, right? Like for example, if you want to create passive income, that's the reason you're creating content. There
Yes.
are other ways to do it. You don't need big numbers to do it. You can create passive income even with a small community. Now, if you don't understand that that's what you're chasing, you will always keep chasing the numbers. And numbers are sometimes out of your control. But there are other ways to get what you want. Who cares about the numbers if you don't care about the numbers? So that's
Right.
something that really, really helped me when I figured out, like, okay, so I want to, at some point, become financially independent. Like, I don't want to depend on my full-time job,
Right.
to have like a livelihood. So sometime down the road, that will be the goal whenever I figure out how, like, decide to monetize, whatever I'm doing. That is the
Right.
goal. Now, when I have that, there are a lot of other ways to get to a point where I can become financially independent without having crazy numbers. So
Hmm.
then I can start chasing that. I can start. So like my plans for the next year won't be, okay, end of this month I have to get these many, whatever. The
Right.
plan will be, how can I like connect with my audience more? How can I build trust more? How can I find out what they want from me so that some point down the road I can actually give it to them and maybe charge them for it. So when
Right.
you figure out like why you're doing this, it makes it a lot easier because that's completely in your control, whereas numbers sometimes aren't, and numbers can get very bad. I like, even however successful you are, like I have friends who have insanely popular like Instagram pages. We all started at the same time, and some friends who have like 7,000 followers already on Instagram in
Right.
just a few months.
Right.
And even those people, sometimes the numbers really get to them. Like
Hmm.
after 7,000, it's like it doesn't stop. Like right now for me, 7,000 seems insane. Like I maybe want 2,000, I'll be so happy, right? But
Right.
when you get to 7,000, you want 10,000. You want the
Yes.
swipe up feature. When you get to 10,000,
Yes.
you want to get verified. Like there's always going to be a new number goal, and so you need to start chasing something else,
Right.
and stop chasing numbers, because numbers don't mean anything. Like famous saying that you can't take your followers to the bank. Okay, like having
Yes.
10,000 followers means nothing actually.
Right.
So yeah, just figuring out my why was very hard, obviously, and also figuring out a way to stop chasing numbers and start chasing something else. Which both things I feel like I figured out very recently, which is definitely very late. You
Right.
can, you might not need to, you don't need to have it like right away, but it should be at the back of your mind of like, okay, at some point I need to figure out why I'm spending so much time doing this. What is this going to get me? Because you
Right.
can't only want to serve your audience. You have to figure out a way to like have that serve you also. Otherwise, it's not sustainable. Like at some point, you will just give up if you're not making anything out of it. So I think
Right.
that's, yeah.
Right. That's very important because when you associate yourself with just numbers, it's just that you are bound to get demotivated after a point of time because you don't have anything else to actually motivate you at that point when numbers actually don't go your way. So maybe I'd say providing value to the viewers and getting the kind of numbers that you want should be a supporting kind of thing that's there, but that's not the only thing that's there. So that is
Absolutely.
very important in content creation. And even I just started my YouTube channel, so I see that I go to the insights and everything. Those numbers do have an impact, but they don't have. They will. I'm pretty sure that they won't have that kind of impact if they go down, because if I know that I'm providing value, then that is the kind of motivation that will keep me going, and that's very important. And second thing